It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go. Friday show, February 9th, 2024. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, or the Fox Local app. Be sure to download that Fox Local app on your Roku, your Fire TV, and your smart TV. Very easy to do so and free of charge. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Man, the day of the week known as Friday seems to come faster and faster and faster. I feel like we just started the week, and here we are already a Friday. The Lions aren't even playing. It's easy to run through a week when the Lions are playing. The Lions aren't even playing. Here we are sitting on Friday, excited. Weather's still beautiful, and we're at Valentine's Day weekend. Tom Mazaway, how you doing?
I'm good, Bray and Rye. It's the best day of the year outside. It's gorgeous. You see everybody outside in their workout clothes, in their shorts, walking dogs, speed walking already. Birmingham really is a beautiful city when the beautiful people are out there. And it's that time of the year for Michiganders. You know, we'll pay for this eventually, but let's enjoy it right now.
Amen to that.
Maz, you know what came on last night, and we'll get into the NFL honors, the awards, who got what, why we think they got that, and maybe if someone else should have gotten it. But they also did the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And I'm loving the age that I'm at, Ryan and Maz, because the guys that are now going in, I've either played.
These are your contemporaries.
Yeah, exactly. These are my contemporaries. Like, these are my brothers. Like, I'm looking at Devin Hester and I, friends, also, same draft class. Patrick Willis and I, teammates, and he got drafted. He was in my 25th birthday party. Dwight Freeney was like a big brother, mentor character. He played for the Colts when Marcus was still at the Colts. So I met Freeney when he was young and I was in high school, or I was in college, because Marcus played for the Colts. So now I'm loving it every year. Andre Johnson lived in the same condo as him down there in Miami. We stayed at the Ritz-Carlton.
Could have been a Lion.
100% he could have. They went with Charles Rogers instead. Yep. But, yeah, it's great. I'm seeing him excited. It brings up memories. Like, yeah, I'm happy for Devin, because I didn't think Devin was ever going to get in, because they don't really value the special teams guys like that. I mean, hell, there's only, 2 kickers or maybe 1 in the NFL Hall of Fame. So I'm very happy for Devin that he got in.
I'm happy for Mongo, Steve McMichael, who's fighting for his life with ALS and what he used to look like and what he looks like now. And I'm just glad he gets to go in while he's still with us.
Didn't he drop that horse in Blazing Saddles? Wasn't that him?
No, that was a different
Not
Mongo.
Blazing Saddles.
That was Alex Karras.
Alex Karras, yeah.
That was Alex
Lions.
Karras.
You know, interesting thing to me about the Hall of Fame, and we can do it, we might as well just do it now.
Yeah.
It's the guy that didn't get in.
Antonio Gates.
Antonio Gates has more touchdowns than Rob Gronkowski, than
he's over 100.
Every other great tight end in the league, Shannon Sharp. How does this guy not get in? Shannon Sharp, Rob Gronkowski,
Wow.
Tony Gonzalez. How does Detroit's own Antonio Gates not get in? And I think when you look at this list, it becomes almost, I don't want to take anything away from these guys.
You say why.
But you cannot talk about these guys and not talk about Gates. I was stunned that Antonio Gates, Detroit's own Antonio Gates, is not included in this list.
Yeah, 100%. You know, he should have got in. Look, I've known Tone for a long time. Went to Central High School here in Detroit. He's 2 years older than me. Going to see him play against Dane Fife was one of the best basketball games I've ever seen, Central versus Clarkston. But it's a political thing. You look at Patrick Willis, he's one of the best linebackers that I've ever played with. The 49ers in the Super Bowl, so it's political in that sense. Julius Peppers deserves to be in. Randy McMichael, I mean, you love him, but at the end of the day, he's dying of ALS. It's the perfect timing. Everything about this now is what suits the narrative. Like,
well, I mean, is there a cap? Is there a number on how many guys can get in?
But I think it's not about that, but right, it's about the speeches. Like, those speeches happen in the span of one day. You put 10, 13 people in the Hall of Fame, you're talking about 6 hours. You're sitting there listening to speeches and the people that are putting them in. They all should get in. I see what they're doing now. They're adding maybe like 2 old and some new. So
forget about the old guys for a second. Antonio Gates is better at his position, no offense to Dwight Freeney, than Dwight Freeney was at his position.
I think over Andre Johnson.
Antonio Gates is better at his position than Julius Peppers was at his position.
You better look at the stats.
Look at the stats.
Julius Peppers has over 150 sacks, like career.
Great player. But I'm talking about the greatest tight end of all time. When you talk about the greatest defensive ends of all time,
Right.
Julius Peppers' name is not included in it.
Agreed.
Antonio Gates' name is included in it. I think when it comes to the,
He definitely-
I know you're not fighting me on this,
he
but I'm
definitely got snubbed.
I'm just saying he's the best player. Now Devin Hester, best to ever do it. Best to ever do that.
Also, look at personalities. You look at Julius Peppers. Julius Peppers, from the time he was in North Carolina playing basketball and football, came into the league. Personality. You say Peppers, you know his name. Patrick Willis, everybody was scared of Patrick Willis. He should get in anyway. We don't have to bring him up. Andre Johnson. Andre Johnson was always making plays on the biggest stage in terms of the biggest games, not the playoff, but you look at the numbers on that. And then Dwight Freeney won a Super Bowl, played in 2 Super Bowls. Dwight Freeney was a personality that you know. It's about personalities. Antonio Gates was hitting on the San Diego coast, playing for the Chargers, and not necessarily a league-wide fan name. And I think that's what it's still political. He'll get in. But
Yeah.
keep in mind, this is year 1 for Tone Gates.
Yeah.
It took T.O. 3 years to get in.
I know,
And
but Peppers was his first year. So I get what Ryan is saying.
Right.
I understand. And
They-
Gates will get in.
But also, it's about throwing people bones. It's about throwing people a bone. You throw the Carolina Panthers a bone because what? Season sucks. They stink. They're going through it. 2 coaches in the last 2 years. You throw them a bone. This is a good moment for him. It's just like Tony Baselli. Tony Baselli got into. He's a guy that was on the tween the lines for a long time. Jacksonville Jaguars making some headway. They're in the AFC Championship. Who gets into the Hall of Fame finally? Tony Baselli. It's so political now. It's not just about how good they are. Because, Ryan, you can't name me 3 tight ends better than Antonio Gates in the history of the NFL. And I'm including Shannon Sharp. Antonio Gates was better than Shannon Sharp. Sorry, Uncle Shay Shay.
I don't know about that, but
Yeah, he
Randy Gradishar has waited a long, long time. He played for the old Orange Crush.
Shannon does have
Broncos.
3 Super Bowls. That's a tough feat.
I would have put him ahead of Sharp.
He's got better numbers. Yeah,
get
but
it.
3 Super Bowls is 3 Super Bowls.
It is.
Yeah, okay. But how?
It
Okay,
is.
you can't name me 4. I put it to
I
you
got
that
you.
way.
Yeah, no,
I got
just
you.
really interesting to me. Guys, a couple of coaching news in college football as well. Just breaking moments ago, by the way.
There's a reason why this happened.
Chip Kelly is no longer the head coach of UCLA. He is now the offensive coordinator at Ohio State. So he goes from being the head coach at UCLA to being a coordinator at Ohio State. And I guess I understand why. He wants to be a head coach in the National Football League again, or at least, to me, a coordinator at the NFL level. He can't get there yet. What's the easiest way to do that? Go score 40 points a game at Ohio State.
But he's there
maybe.
because Bill O'Brien left.
Yeah.
Bill O'Brien was going to be the OC of Ohio State. Doesn't even play, doesn't get a game in, and gets hired today as the head coach of Boston College. So he leaves without even coaching a game. And so Chip Kelly's like, I'm going to get fired at UCLA anyway. Let me go on over to Ohio State.
Right.
100%. At the end of the day, 1, he was your man. You hit the nail on the head. He was going to get fired anyway. But 2, you hit the nail on the head, Ryan, as well. Chip Kelly's like, look, I can't necessarily interview for the NFL when I have to run a whole team. Like, when I'm just focused on the offense, you can see what I'm doing. You can see my plays. You can see the development. You can see how it works. If I got to be the head coach, now I got to manage the defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator. I got to recruit. I got to do NIL. I got to recruit my own kids. You can't really show off how good you are. This is a move where now all Chip Kelly has to focus on is the offense, the offensive system. So it's a ballsy move, but it's a good one.
And you're not getting a job either, Braylon, when you're going to lose 5, 6, 7, 8 games at UCLA next year, especially coming to the Big Ten. You're just not prepared to do that.
You can't justify that to the owner.
Dante Moore, your 5-star quarterback, has left you. He is no longer there. He said peace. So you look offensively at your team. UCLA is, I think, once
it's a big program.
big-time program, but when you look at the resources, they have none. They don't have a stadium. Their facilities are
They don't have
garbage.
any money.
They don't have any money at that school.
USC has all the money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think this is a smart move for Chip Kelly. Go to where there's $13 million worth of offensive talent. Go put up 40, 50, 60 points a game. Win your 14 games a year, 13 games a year, and then you can write your own ticket potentially.
He might take over for Ryan Day.
He very
Realistically.
well might.
And then honestly too, what's the best job? What's the best way to get hired as a coach? is put up numbers against Michigan. And he's now in a division where he's going to play against Michigan this year. They watch that game and say, cool, you know what? Thanks for the opportunity. I'm out. I'm going.
But Michigan's got a new defensive coordinator.
Speaking of which, Wink Martindale, the former defensive coordinator for the New York Giants, and of course before that, the Baltimore Ravens, has agreed to become the defensive coordinator for the Michigan Wolverines. That is according to Adam Schefter. We got that from the Wolverine. And Braylon, I like the idea, if you look at Wink Martindale, the system he runs, it is in line. He drew up the system that Jesse Minter and Mike McDonald ran before them. So there's not going to be a lot of language changes. There's not going to be a lot of scheme changes. If you played on this team last year, you will probably be able to pick up Wink Martindale's system fairly quickly. I think where you have a little bit of concern here with Wink is the personality. Kind of seems like left Baltimore potentially, allegedly, on a rough note. The very public, I think, verbal battle that went on between him and Brian Daboll, the head coach in New York, which led Wink Martindale to resign. So I don't know Wink Martindale personally, but it seems like there's a little bit of a clash at the jobs that he has. I just don't know how that works at the college game. I'm not drawing a conclusion on him yet at all. But that is a pattern.
Maz, what's the difference in the NFL level and the college level? At the NFL level, you have a GM and you have an owner. The GM and the owner don't necessarily agree on picks all the time. The owner will draft somebody the GM doesn't want. The GM will force the owner to draft somebody they don't want. At the end of the day, in the NFL, if you're a defensive coordinator, you're not just controlling the defense. You have to control the personalities that they want to play. You have to control the guys that they spend money on, the guys that they took chances on. We just talked about Troy Weaver and Killian Hayes and doubling and tripling, quadruple down. You got to deal with that politic in the NFL, Ryan. In college, you don't. In college, these are the players. These are the players we bring in. We think these are. It's his job to vet the players and say this is where these guys should play. This guy should start. This guy should be here. This guy should be coming off the bench. This guy should play the Viper. He has all that power. He doesn't have to worry about a GM. He doesn't have to worry about an owner. Hell, he doesn't even have to worry about Sharon Moore. Sharon Moore is going to be the head coach and also still working with the offense so closely. Look, Wink, just do what you did in Baltimore. Do what you did 2 years ago with the Giants. We're fine. There's nothing to talk about.
Listen, man, I first thought that this was kind of a reach, but I like it. It gives Sharon Moore, the experienced guy. It also gives the kids at Michigan a guy to look up to, a guy that's going to tell them how to make it in the NFL. I just think the more I like it, I really like it now that I had a night or two to think about this. It's a very good hire for Michigan, and I think they're heading in the right direction in that area for sure.
Hey, Ryan, you know what? Sharon Moore is taking the page out of Antonio Pierce's playbook. Like, who did Antonio Pierce go get on the defensive side, man? So who did he get on the offensive side? He got some of these older coaches that have been around the block. He went and got Herm Edwards. Herm Edwards knows his thing. So I think it's good to have people around you that know exactly what they don't have to be young. We talked about it yesterday.
Absolutely.
They don't have to be young.
Absolutely. And I do think that's a great point that Maz just made, too. One of the things that you had with Michigan was you had NFL-level coaching on your team.
Correct.
You know, Mike Hart was in the NFL. Ron Bellamy played with the Lions.
And the Dolphins,
And the Dolphins. Jim Harbaugh obviously had success with the 49ers. And, I think it's important to have guys on your staff that worked in the NFL for years in the NFL. You want to be in the NFL, this is what you got to do. I think that part of it is great. I just don't know, to me, one question mark is how he'll relate to the college game. I do not know Wink Martindale. I only know Wink Martindale as an NFL coach. I think there's a big difference coaching professionals than coaching college kids.
It is, because at the professional level, you want players to already have gotten it. You want players to get to know what they're talking about. You want players to already be where you're at, and when you're trying to tell them on the NFL level, sometimes the college kids, you got to coach them. You got to get them to where they're able to be able to. But the thing about Wink Martindale that I do like, though, is you get him now. It's February early. He already, Ryan, as you just said, he knows the system in Michigan. So it's not a guy coming in trying to reteach kids. When you try to teach a whole system during spring ball, It takes you all the spring ball to learn the system, and then in the summer you still don't trust the system. So you're still spending training camp trying to get that system down for the first game, which is at the end of August. When you get a guy that's coming in that already knows this system, actually kind of created this system, if you will, you're already coaching guys on the same level. So they're basically starting now, and they're going to get better from now until the game in September.
Listen, this guy could have gotten another job in the NFL. He's that well respected. He probably looked around. Sure, he could have took a year off. Sure, he could have took a step back, maybe coached a D-line or something else. But he looked at a team like the Michigan Wolverines, who are as big a brand as you guys always say they are. They're the biggest brand in college football,
Booyah.
bar none, hands down. So he took the best job in college football. And not only that, I think he'll bring some people with him to help this team. I do believe they're not done hiring. And Wink Martindale will bring some of his guys alongside him with the Michigan Wolverines.
Maz, you're absolutely right. And also, whereas what were we just talking about? We're talking about Harbaugh kind of leaving at the last minute.
Yep.
Didn't give Sharon Moore a chance to really build a staff. Well, if you're hiring guys like Wink Martindale, Maz, to your point, you're bringing guys. It helps you in this process. He doesn't have to go alone and trying to find these players. Because, look, Jim Harbaugh, you can think Jim Harbaugh is helping Sharon Moore spoon feed him. Jim Harbaugh got his own NFL franchise to worry about. As he's on TV right now, he's got to do. So Sharon Moore is definitely going to need somebody, and Wink Martindale seems like he could be that guy like Matt said.
No doubt. Plenty to talk about when it comes to the Michigan Wolverines. Guys, I do want to transition to we're going to get to the Super Bowl. Rob Parker's going to join us in about 15 minutes from now. But
get robbed.
So before I move forward, I want to go back to one thing. Earlier this week, Brad Holmes had a press conference. Lions general manager had a press conference. And one of the things he was asked about was this offensive line. And the identity of the Detroit Lions, more often than not, when you think of the Detroit Lions, you think of that offensive line. 5 solid guys that you can count on each and every week. Well, 2 of those guys are free agents now, Jonah Jackson and Graham Glasgow. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, you got to replace both your guard positions. You've got your left tackle, you've got your right tackle, and you've got Frank Ragnow in the middle. So I think it was a little bit of a surprise when Brad Holmes came to the podium and talked about Frank Ragnow's potential retirement. Take a listen to this, and then we'll follow it, move it forward.
Extremely important. And look, Ragnow, it's only one of them on the planet, in my opinion. So, but I have so much respect for him and for everything that he goes through and fights through that, I'm just respectful of his time and his thoughts. And, we're not going to, pressure him to do anything or make any moves, but the communication will be diligent. It'll be thorough. It'll be respectful. But just that's what our team is.
Okay, so I think that caught a lot of us off guard. I was caught off guard by that a little bit. I didn't say too much about it, but I was caught off guard by that. Like, is Frank Ragnow so injured that he's considering retiring? And Braylon, look, when you get into year 7, year 8, year 9, and you're looking at your body, it does become a question mark. Can I do this any longer at this level? Do I want to put my body through what I have to put my body through to get ready for a season? And what Frank Ragnow came out yesterday and told Dave Burkett of the Detroit Free Press, I'm not retiring. So you talk about Brad Holmes saying communication lines are going to be open. We're going to give Frank all the time he needs. Frank doesn't need any more time than that. Frank Ragnow is not retiring. So we can put that to bed. But Braylon, I was surprised it was even brought up. But as a former player, I'm sure you probably did not.
No, I don't think so. And also, I think the reason why I'm not surprised, Ryan, because you talk about it all the time. Hell, you just said it yesterday, the day before that, and the day before that. When things happen around the Lions facility, it's not a surprise to the people in that building because they're very transparent. They're very honest with themselves. The way I look at it is like this. Dan Campbell's a former player. He knows how it is to, like Frank went through it last year, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Like Frank, if it wasn't one thing, it was another. If it wasn't an elbow, it was an ankle. If it wasn't an ankle, it was a toe. If it wasn't a toe, it was his neck in terms of the nerve in his neck. There's always something going on with Frank. So when you got a head coach that cares, when you got a guy like Brad Holmes that cares, they care about their players, and you're legitimately watching what seems to be a guy breaking down, needing Toradol shots before every game, I think it is a real conversation that Dan Campbell probably had with Frank. Hey, look, Frank, man, we love you to death, man, but we don't want you to be out here risking, because you're doing it for us. We want you to know if you made the decision to retire, we will love you, support you 100%. You'll always be in line. You'll always be a part of that. I think that's a real conversation between real men, and I think Dan Campbell definitely exudes the fact that he's a real man, and he talks to his players as such. I think that's what it was. And then Frank said, thank you, appreciate that, but with all due respects, I'm still a Lion.
Yep. Not only that, he said, listen, I just need some rest. I'm going to get better. I'm playing. And this is a guy that loves the outdoors. We all know that. He's a guy that's on the water constantly. He's hunting.
We interviewed him. He was fishing.
Yep, he is. He's a fisherman, man. And
Gabby introduced.
He's a beast. He's not going to play 17 games. Ryan's been saying that from day one. He's not. Graham Glasgow, it must be re-signed, and they will draft a center or at least trade for another guy that can play center. But he is one of a kind. And it will be, when it's time for him to go, it's going to suck. But the best, they retire, man, and you try to replace them as best as you can. But Frank Ragnow is the mainstay. He is the quarterback of that offensive line.
Frank is definitely the mainstay. We talk about it all the time. Look at how that team played when he played. They were just not just offense, defense. The team as a whole was a different team when Frank Ragnow was at the center position. But, Maz, you're right. Look, you can't play forever. You got to prepare yourself. Look at the teams that don't prepare. Look at the Pittsburgh Steelers as it relates to the quarterback position. They're still trying to find a quarterback, and now this is year 4 for the big guy being retired. You got to go after one of these guys. Jackson Powers Johnson out of Oregon, maybe a Cedric Van Pelt out of Georgia. There are 4 centers in the top 160 in terms of overall players, not just their positions. So Brad Holmes makes things happen.
You know it.
Find a way to get the second or third best center, you know what I'm saying, in the third round.
Who was the center for Tampa Bay that just retired?
Ryan Jensen Jensen.
So he was spectacular as well, but he broke down.
Well, again, I don't. Frank Ragnow is going to be what, 28 years old.
Retired.
He'll be 28 years old in May.
Wow.
27, 28 years old in May. But the money these athletes make now, it is not a shock to
say goodbye
at 28, 29, 30 years old anymore. 30,
he's got enough.
30 almost seems like the max if you're dealing with a lot of injuries. Can you see Frank Ragnow playing more than 3 more seasons? I mean, if you're talking about retirement now, even hinting at it, Frank Ragnow's not going to be playing in the NFL for 3 more seasons.
He's one bad injury away from he could be then.
So
it could be then.
Yeah, knock on wood for sure. But I just and thankfully these guys make enough money now that they don't have to play into their mid-30s anymore if they don't want to. They can preserve their bodies as best they can, not force it, and go live your life happily ever after if that's what you so choose.
And then what also is good too is franchises, whether it's the NBA, the NFL, the NHL, the which one am I missing? I think
MLB.
MLB. There you go. I knew I did miss one. Most of these franchises are now operating really good. They have good front office. They have good ownership. They are really in touch with the players. So if Frank Ragnow decided to hang him up after this season, like it's been a hell of a run, you know he's indexed somewhere with the Detroit Lions organization, much like Chris Spielman is. Like, you know he's going to be somewhere planted in that. That's what I think franchises do a great job of now, is setting up the next part. Because if you got guys, your all-stars, your legends that are staying with the team, the front office positions, it makes a team that much difference. So I'm walking through the doors and I see, a guy that was great a couple years ago. Now he's working in the front office. This is a good franchise. This is a good situation. I think Frank's in line.
I know we abuse Bob Quinn. Bob Quinn drafted that guy.
Yeah, and Taylor Decker, and that's about it, though. You know what
All
I
right,
mean?
But I'll take our hats off to that.
Yeah, I mean, 2 out of 20.
I'm just saying.
I understand it, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago,
Matt Millen drafted Stafford.
And then I went back and actually looked at the drafts, and I'm like, Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 2 out of 20
I know.
guys.
I
you know what I
know.
mean? You got 2 out of 20.
I know. And Jeff Okuda was their last.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, last in the first round.
Yeah.
But crazy. Yeah, and Big Frank was at the NFL
At
Honors
least they got
last
Jelani
night.
Tavai for us.
Yeah, the NFL Honors last night out there getting those awards. So, at the red carpet.
Some of those awards were whack, by the way. I can't wait to talk about those.
Yeah, I didn't watch it all.
I mean, really.
I didn't watch it. I wanted to get a quick segue in. JB, like, I cannot believe that I overlooked the hat that you are wearing right now, man. I didn't do. I'm not representing my brother real good right there. What's up? What's up? What's up? Come on, man. That's Martin, baby. That's Martin. He got the Martin hat on.
I've been getting a lot of compliments on this hat today, too.
Who's your favorite character, JB, on Martin?
Oh, Jerome.
Hey,
Jerome's in
I say Jerome, dig it.
So you know who I talked to today at Fox 2?
Jerome from Martin.
Nope. John Henton,
Oh,
who plays
Overton.
in Overton
Yeah.
and Living Single.
Yeah.
Remember Living Single back in the early
100%.
90s?
Is he still bald?
Not really.
Maz never.
I don't
never
remember.
watched
It's still
Living
bald?
Single.
It's not old
Yeah.
enough.
Have you ever seen Friends, Maz?
Friends, of course.
Okay,
That's
guess
Living
what?
Single.
They stole Living Single's format.
And they basically did.
They
There's,
did.
You know, 6 African American people living in an apartment
Same
complex.
kind-
Oh, wow.
And then
What channel was it on?
Fox.
I'll be
UPN.
damned.
UPN.
You know the brothers is on you.
UPN.
Did they follow Return of the Jeffersons?
Yeah.
No, but actually it did because it was that came on in New York Undercover. But yeah, it was.
And then they went opposite because so you had friends that followed Living Single. So you had 6 white people living in an
100%.
apartment complex in New York, and you had 6 black people living in an apartment complex
And
in New York.
relationships between them, like dating
and then you put them on at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, man.
I got so many things to say. It's so little time.
Right.
Hey, Bray, did you have a Seinfeld, too?
You said no.
Did you have a Seinfeld comp?
Seinfeld's OG.
Okay, no Seinfeld
No,
comp.
Seinfeld's OG.
All right.
No,
That's
no Seinfeld hate over here.
No,
All
but
right.
yeah, so this John Henton, who
Yeah.
plays Overton, you know, you ask about these.
He's a real comedian, by the
He
way.
is. He's got 3 shows this week
Okay.
at Punchline Comedy.
Oh, it's on Northwestern Highway.
Yeah, exactly. Punchline. So 2 shows tonight, 2 tomorrow, and then 1 on Sunday. So he's out there touring, and some of these guys that you that are known for one particular role, they're so offended by only being known for
Right.
that one role. Like we interviewed.
They're typecast.
We interviewed. I forgot his.
Jerry Ferrara?
No, I forgot his real name. But it is McFly, the dad in Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, George McFly.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is.
Right.
He's George McFly.
Yeah, of course.
I don't care what he does.
Some
for
of the
rest of his
blonde
life.
hair and the glasses?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
George McFly. He was so offended that question was asked about Back to the Future because
I was in other things.
He is an incredibly well-rounded actor
Sure.
who has a complete body of work. And I'm like, dude, you're George McFly.
Exactly.
Stop.
Like, relax.
You know what I mean? Relax.
Jason Alexander gets upset, too, that he's George.
He's
He's
actually
George
a great actor
Costanza.
too, but it's his fault. You shouldn't have been so great at it.
I know.
You know who on the other side? Did you guys watch Entourage?
Oh, God,
Well,
yes.
yeah, I mean,
Okay, so
Johnny
Turtle.
Drama?
So, well, drama's actually cool as hell, and actually,
Johnny Drama was just here at the
Mark Wahlberg.
Feldman
I
Golf
love
Outing.
Entourage.
so
Mark
he's actually
Wahlberg,
scratched
yeah.
off,
Are
which
you
is
talking
very
about Turtle? Jerry
Turtle.
Ferrara?
So Jerry Ferrara is a friend of mine. Jerry's pretty cool. He always comes
cool.
in time for Jalen. He's one that doesn't mind. He's like, hey, Turtle put me on. He was like the character Turtle allowed him to
That's all he ever
do
was.
real movies and do other things. So he's different about it. I love Jerry.
Yeah, good. Shout out to Mazed Up, who's Crispin Glover is the guy's name, George McFly. I'm like, dude, you're George McFly. I'm sorry. Do you know how many people would love to be known for one
course,
thing?
of
But
course.
the reason why I say that is because I asked Ovi
Yeah.
about that today. And Overton
Yeah.
from Living Single, he's like, "Oh my God, I love it. Are you crazy? Like, you work your whole life to be
Hey,
kind of known for something."
You know why? It's because Crispin Glover is a method actor.
Yeah.
And that's why, see, Overton, these guys are comedians.
Right.
Like, Jerry Ferrara is like more lighthearted comedian. Like, Crispin Glover, if you look at his other movies, it's like real, like, methody kind of
Right.
weird, so.
The
two of my
weird
favorite
dog.
heroes was George Reeves. He played Superman.
Uh-huh.
Couldn't get a job anywhere else. Movies, nothing.
George
He was-
Reeves.
Christopher
George
Reeves.
Reeves. Well, George Reeves was the original Superman on TV.
Oh.
You didn't know that? Then Christopher Reeve was the movie.
Christopher Reeve was for me.
George
I
Reeve.
wasn't alive.
I know, but there's great movies. Back to Hollywood, it's called. Check it out. It's the George Reeve story. It's great. And Adam West, my man, Batman.
Love
Adam West for
couldn't
sure.
couldn't get anything besides he was Batman. I mean, he fought.
He was
fought
great as
his
Mayor
whole
West
life.
on Family Guy.
I know. He did make a great comeback there on Family Guy.
Guys, we got to take a break. When we come back, expect you to be joined by the great Rob Parker. We'll do that next. But first, a message from us here at WSN. WoodwardSports.com. Click on that shop page, shop tab for new Detroit sports wearables. Comfortable, affordable, hoodies, hats, tees, everything in between. WoodwardSports.com. Click on that shop tab.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Planet Fitness, you can get energy without the judgment.
Hi, can you help me with this?
You don't know how to use it?
This is better.
Join now through January 19th for just 24 cents down, $10 a month. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Join today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for 24 cents down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal extended through January 19th.
Over 50 Metro Detroit locations.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Winning is a habit. So is listening daily to Woodward Sports. We're glad you're a winner, and thanks for listening.
Planet Fitness is your home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym with tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all this just for $10 a month with no commitment. Now remember, there is always a Planet Fitness close by with more than 50 in the Metro Detroit area and thousands more throughout the world. Find your local Planet Fitness today, or as always, join online at planetfitness.com.
Hey, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazway. The great Rob Parker is with us of Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports Radio, KNBC you later. Rob, come on.
Come on, Rob.
Come on, Braylon.
Come on. I wish I had my voice. I've been enjoying Las Vegas too much, so I'm struggling a little bit.
Don't push it, Rob. Don't push it.
Rob, talk to me about Vegas, because the more I hear about the Super Bowl in Vegas, I hear it's kind of a little bit of a disaster. What say you?
I mean, it is. You know, Vegas is already a tough place to maneuver. A lot of people come. Then you throw the football aspect and the Super Bowl, so it's definitely not easy. But I'm trying to maneuver around it and have some fun.
Rob, you legit...
I wouldn't call it a disaster. I don't know who you've been...
Yeah, disaster's a strong word. Disaster's a strong word. That's my word. That was my word. That was my word.
Overcrowded, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. I understand as far as, you know, being tough to maneuver. But, I've been having a good time. The parties have been great. I went to Shannon Sharp's party the other night. It was great ambiance. 8 listers. I went to Colin Cowherd's party. That was great. Great food. Last night, Sean King, former NFL quarterback. I was at his
Tampa Bay Buccaneers
spot. So, yeah. So I've been enjoying it. I've really been enjoying it.
Yeah, Sean King was 1 year removed when they went to the Super Bowl that following year. Talk about Uncle Shay Shay's party, man. He's a fascinating human being right now, the things he's doing ESPN. But these interviews, Monique recently, Cat Williams to start the year. How was the party? What was it like? Set the scene.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. It was in this restaurant. Can't remember the name of it. That's how good it was. But anyway.
You know you're eating good. You're just eating. And
yeah, I'm just eating and drinking. But yeah, it was just a lot of people. I mean, Marcus Allen was even there at the party, and you know, some NFL greats, and Shannon's doing great. Obviously, I work with him, you know, on Undisputed. That show has changed and whatnot, but Shannon is always going to be good. I think, you know, working on that show, he became really the first athlete to kind of break through to be in that chair, you know, debating every day and not just debating football. And so he has such a following, and people are into Shannon and what he has to say. So I'm not surprised at his success. You know, as a journalist, and Ryan can understand what I'm saying, it's one thing, Braylon, to interview people and let them talk. But you got to have some pushback. You can't just let people say whatever they want without challenging them. And that's always my argument when athletes want to be in this spot. It's not that you can't be, but you can't just let people say whatever they want.
100%. I agree with you. Shannon holds everybody accountable, and you watch the show, you see Shannon set the tone. Like, no, when you come on here, you got to give me a why. You got to give me a reason. You can't just say certain things if I disagree. So I agree with you on that 100%. The vibe I'm asking, the Chiefs, the 49ers, here they are, the second time in 4 years, I believe, blah, blah, blah. Is the excitement a lot? What's the excitement for this game in particular? Not Justin Timberlake, excuse me. Usher's not doing the halftime. There's been word that Justin Bieber might be joining that. What is the overall excitement for this Super Bowl, this halftime show, and Brock Purdy versus Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, I mean, in listening to people, and you know, we've been doing our show from Radio Row. There's a lot of people who are hooked on the Mr. Irrelevant. I want to see him win the Super Bowl, that whole Brock Purdy story, which I think is kind of a false narrative for people, because I just, when I think about, you know, I get that he was the last pick in the draft, but Kurt Warner wasn't even drafted, and he won a Super Bowl. Why is people, and an MVP and a Super Bowl MVP?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, let's not make it like somebody came out of nowhere, you know, and became a Super Bowl champ and did things. Kurt Warner did all that. So whenever I hear that, and nobody really questioned him at that time because it was an eye test. The guy threw 41 touchdowns his rookie year. Ain't nobody questioned whether or not he was a good quarterback or a great quarterback like they do with Brock Purdy, because I think the jury's still out. If he bombs and has a bad game like he had against the Ravens,
they may draft the
quarterback. 3 or 4 picks. Yeah, people are going to be like, but he can't do it. I mean, that's really where his career holds. And if he's able to win, then it changes the narrative.
Hey, Rob, I think the Chiefs have the better quarterback, the better coach, and the better defense. How are they the underdog in this game?
Well, remember, when it's the underdog, that's Vegas. Vegas just comes up with a number to be able to get people to bet on both sides. Vegas isn't picking the Chiefs. Picking the 49ers to win. Vegas is picking the 49ers to be the favorite so that they win, so that 50% of the money is bet on the 49ers and 50% of the money is bet on Kansas City, and they win big. They don't want it to be lopsided. That's when they get killed. So I think when people always say, oh, how are they the favorites? It has nothing to do with the score of the game or who's going to win. It's about Vegas winning. And I'll say this. You know, this is not the same Chiefs team that won. I don't think their offense is as great.
It's not.
The defense is definitely better. And I'll give you a hot take that we had on the Odd Couple with Chris Broussard the other day. When you're talking about Super Bowls, I would take Eli Manning over Patrick Mahomes any day in the Super Bowl.
Wow. Well, I'm not going to argue with you because you know I'm an Eli guy, but that's another topic, man. But
Right.
Rob, I want to talk.
Braylon. Hey,
don't give me a
Braylon.
ball.
Listen to what I'm saying.
It's Maz.
Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, 5 touchdowns, 4 picks, quarterback rating 79.
Yep.
They just Sports Illustrated just put out
Agreed.
the top 25 performances of quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. Okay, you got me, top 25.
Listen.
Patrick Mahomes was not in one of those top 25. Not one.
100%. Meanwhile, Eli was in there probably top 5 and top 10.
Exactly. Eli has 2 signature throws. And people say, "Oh, the David Tyree throw was lucky." If that's lucky, that wasn't to win the game.
Listen,
he still got.
You don't have to
got Plaxico to win the game.
You don't have to convince me because I lived in New York at the time, played for the Jets, the whole 9 yards. That throw that he threw to Mario Manningham is one of the top 3 prettiest passes I have ever seen. There was nowhere to put that pass. Mario had nowhere to put his feet except barely in bounds, and that throw barely in his hand. That's one like that, and that Santonio Holmes and like Ben Roethlisberger, like those throws, the elite of the elite. So you don't have to convince me on Eli Manning. I stand down.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people don't want to respect Eli Manning. Like, oh well, I know he wasn't have a great regular season, but during the Super Bowls and big moments, and the other thing too is, Eli beat Tom Brady twice, and he beat the 18-0 Patriots. There's no way he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
he'll get there next year. It's his first opportunity next year. I'm going to talk about Antonio Gates in a minute, but I want to talk about the Lions, Rob. You weren't here this year to enjoy the Lions renaissance. What's your take on Dan Campbell now? I know you weren't a big fan of his back in the day.
Choke job. One of the worst coaching jobs I ever saw.
Oh, God.
And you know what? People can make excuses for Dan Campbell, and 30 years from now when the Lions aren't in the Super Bowl again, they'll remember that.
Oh.
There's no way you can allow your team to be outscored 27-0, not put any points on the board, all that other stuff that people are making excuses. He cost them the Super Bowl. I don't care what anybody says. If you put the kicker out there and he misses it, shame on the kicker. But that what he did was ego getting in the way. And everybody says, oh, he did that all year. That was what he did. No, he didn't. At the end of the first half, what did he do? He took the field goal, did he not?
He didn't want to.
Because that was the right call.
But it worked.
He didn't want to. He called the timeout.
But it worked.
And he was thinking about it. But it was a 30-yard field goal, Rob, not a 48-yard field goal.
It's also only a 3-yard
Dude, a 48-yard field goal. You
not
can't
to this
go
guy.
Be outscored 27-0 in the second half. Stop it.
Hey, Rob, I was in San Francisco, and I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. The first
you guys should get a room together.
I'm just saying, the first 4th down, there's a rationale for it. I disagree with the rationale, but there's a rationale for it. The second time, with under 7 minutes to go, down by 3 points. Right. Down by 3 points, when you got to figure you're only getting one more possession in that football game, maybe that was a choke. They choked.
No,
it was a choke job. That the Lions up 24-7. Most Detroiters were on the phone booking their tickets online,
we should have been
calling the airlines, thinking they're going to the Super Bowl. And if you think that it's just next year you're going to go. Ask the Lions in '92 when they went to the NFC Championship game, and it was 30 years later. It doesn't happen like that. That's a blown opportunity.
This is a different regime, Rob. This ain't that old regime anymore. This is a different team. This is a team that's on the rise, that has 4 picks in the top 30, not top 30, in the first 4 rounds. This team ain't going anywhere but up.
Okay, Maz, let me ask you.
Go ahead.
Dan Marino's on line 1.
Yeah.
He went to the Super Bowl his second year. Ask him when he went back.
I know, but they sucked. They didn't put anything around him.
Ask him when he went back to the Super Bowl. Stop it. It ain't that easy.
Okay, that's fine. You want to be that way. It's so quiet in Detroit. Fill in your blank. It's so quiet in Detroit. Go ahead.
That's right. You can hear a mouse. You can hear a mouse urinate on an old Motown 45 that was dropped on the ground.
You SOB, you.
Rob, let me ask you.
I'm done with him. Go ahead, guys. He ruined my mood.
Maz is sitting here. I got
three questions.
I had three questions.
That
He
he's
pissed
looking
me
at
off.
us.
I'm not even going to eat a Sabrett right now.
Rob, let me ask you about when you were here in Detroit. One of the best organizations in sports, not only in the NBA but in sports, was the Detroit Pistons. Now I think they're one of the worst organizations in sports. What do you make of what we've been through in Detroit with Tom Gores as the owner of this franchise?
Embarrassing. And Monty Williams should be fired. I mean, are you kidding? If you're just looking at it from the money standpoint, what are they going to do? Disassemble the whole team and bring Monty? There's no way that team should be that bad with Monty Williams. Something is very wrong there, that they could be that bad. And when they had that losing streak, it was embarrassing. Every night they were losing by 30. That was unheard of. And if it wasn't for his contract, everybody knows he would have been fired. And that was the only reason that they kept him. And it's a mistake. Look at what the Raiders did with Josh McDaniels. They fired an NFL coach with 4 years of guaranteed money on his contract. You know why? Because they knew he was the wrong guy and it wasn't going to work. I'm serious. Monty Williams didn't come to Detroit with a championship with Phoenix. I don't even know how they signed him to that contract. It didn't even make any sense.
Yeah, 100%. Monty Williams. I mean, they won 2 games in a row, so maybe they about to turn the corner. No, I'm joking. I don't want to get you fueled up. I actually 100% agree with you. Troy Weaver, Tom Gores, and Monty Williams together, they just aren't it. One quick question, Rob, and I know you've been with us, so we kick it. I don't want to waste too much of your time. Do you remember playing in the celebrity game in 2010? I was trying to set the scene for the fellas, man. I want to know if you have any recollection of what happened in 2010, my brother.
Oh yeah, of course. I was carried off on a stretcher after. I think I was blocked at the basket or something. Got knocked over. Braylon came and somebody else. I know Braylon was manning the stretcher. They took me off the court. You know what I mean? It was not a good night. It was not a good day. I didn't get any baskets, and I got slightly injured but not hurt.
Hey, Rob, well, you know what? Somebody sent me the video not too long ago, and that's why I was glad we had you on the show.
Send it to me.
I think we're going to send it to you also. We're going to let that play right now as we talk to you.
Hold on. Let's see this. Hold on. Wait a minute.
2010, little pass out. Brent Petway, University of Michigan.
Get robbed.
Brent Petway. While they was in the game, Jason Richardson to the right. Jimmy King played. That's Hayes. That's like
oh,
Steve Breston was in the game. It was a fun game.
Brett Petway.
Right. I need that video, Brady.
I'm gonna send it to you right now. I'm sending it to you right now. There's an instant replay.
Hey, Rob, before you go, MLBBro.com. You know you're my baseball guru. What's your take on what the Dodgers have done to my beloved sport, and where you got the Tigers this year?
Well, the Dodgers have become the evil empire, obviously, when you spend $1.4 billion on 2 players, and now the pressure is to win. The Dodgers have won 100 games or more the last couple of years and couldn't get out of the first round. So we'll see. And obviously, Ohtani's not pitching this year. I'm not mad at him. You know, if you want to win and you got the money and you want to put it in, why not? The Tigers, I know, another year of getting better, rebuilding. I think they're just middle of the pack in the AL Central, but hopefully they'll just be good enough to make you want to go out to the ballpark and enjoy it. I still love going to Comerica Park whenever I'm in town, and so I'm not totally down on the Tigers.
We miss you. Come and visit us.
They signed Jack Flaherty, who I like.
I know. That's a good signing from the Orioles, and great pitching coach here that will get him straight as well. Thanks for coming on with us, Rob.
All right, guys, I appreciate it.
Rob,
stay well.
We love you here in Detroit. So happy for your success out there in LA, too,
yes,
man.
Sir.
So happy for your success.
And also, thanks for inviting me on the show. I appreciate coming on there, man. Football season time.
Oh, yeah. Anytime we can do that. And of course, to all of you guys, NBC, see you later.
We'll see you, buddy.
I love it. Now, over there at KNBC now. How about that? The great
he teaches
Rob
at
Parker.
USC, too, the son of a gun.
You know what? The great thing about Rob Parker, look, you may disagree with him, but he has strong opinions, and he always backs up his opinion with facts.
Stats,
you know,
years,
I mean, to be honest with you, and I was going to
time.
ask him about that, but I didn't want to monopolize his time. But yeah, I mean, obviously, he considers Tom Brady the luckiest player of all time. What happens if Patrick Mahomes wins another Super Bowl? But I'll tell you, I did not realize that Patrick Mahomes in 3 prior Super Bowls has 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. That's not acceptable. You know, that is not going to get it done.
Their offense isn't that good.
The only pushback I was going to give Rob is last year. You saw he did in that Super Bowl, 284 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, both in the second half when they needed him. And then also you saw the run, the infamous run that he had, 38 yards run when he had his ankle busted since week 1 of the playoffs. So last year I'd give him some pushback. The other ones, though, he's absolutely right. Patrick Mahomes hasn't necessarily played at that level. But to your point, the one thing that bothers me about it as a Chiefs, thinking the Chiefs are going to win, if the 49ers defense, their defensive line, which is a daunting defensive line. They're really good. They're really skilled. Didn't necessarily show it against the Lions, but hey, they underestimated them. If they can stop Pacheco, and then they don't have to blitz. They don't have to stuff the run. They got 5 defensive linemen that can play at a time. So you just 5 defensive linemen double team Travis Kelce. You're gonna trust those wideouts that have dropped passes all year? You're gonna trust MVS, who had his first catch in the playoffs last game?
No, they don't have much.
Are you gonna trust Rashee Rice, who, although he's your best wide receiver right now, what year is he in, man? He's still a rookie. I know you're not gonna trust that joker Kadarius Toney
as
far as you could throw him. So it gets interesting if they stop the run, which let's not act like they didn't spend enough money on that defensive line.
Here's the good thing: the Lions' offensive line really did their job for the most part against San Francisco, and the Chiefs' offensive line is almost as good as the Lions' offensive line. So I do believe they'll be able to run the ball. But San Francisco put the wall up in the second half, and the Lions went away from the run, and they just put it in Goff's hands. So if you're putting it in Mahomes' hands, I think that's pretty good. He just doesn't have the wideouts and the tight ends. The tight end is Kelce. He's been playing great in the playoffs.
And that's
I think they could play, man.
That's the one thing about Kelce too. It's almost like
he stepped his game up.
Yeah, why? Because the championship's on the line. The playoffs are here. Did he ever tell you the story of who's the old the old defensive coordinator for the Gunther Cunningham?
There you go.
Okay.
He was with the Lions.
Yeah, he was with the Lions. When he was with the Lions, he told a story of when he was the head coach of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I think.
He was.
And he had such a young team. And his young team would always stay in the game every Sunday. They were in the game every Sunday. First 3 quarters, they're in the game. Fourth quarter comes, they just get wiped off the map.
Yeah.
And so he tells the story. He's like, when you got a lot of young players in this league going up against a lot of veterans, those young players will stick around for 3 quarters. But then what would happen is in the fourth quarter, those vets would look at my guys and say, okay, son, now it's time to kick your butt.
Yeah.
You know, now it's winning time. And I say that because I feel like for Travis Kelce, an all-time Hall of Fame guy, it's winning time.
You bet.
And he will play his best football game on Sunday in the Super Bowl against what you saw week 12.
Yes.
Week 8.
When we were saying he's going to retire.
We were saying this guy's so broken down, he can't play. He's lost his step. He doesn't want to play football anymore. That ain't the Travis Kelce that's showing up anymore. And I use ain't for effect. This guy will be ready to play.
Look, when you play 17 games, look, the NFL is now taking the page out of the NBA.
Especially after a bye.
100%. Sometimes they're like, look, man, this ain't our game. Look, we're not going to win this. We may lose this one. They are starting to load manage a little bit. Not quite, but a little bit. But to your point, it's just like when I went to see Golden State Warriors. They played the Pistons, right, Ermanni? This is, December. Pistons they're beating the Golden State the whole game.
Exactly.
Beating them the whole game. They got up double digits on Golden State. They were up 15 at one point. It got to 9 minutes in the fourth quarter, and you saw Steph look at Dre look at Clay, and them like, all right, you ready to put these boys to bed?
Yeah.
It's just like the program. What was it? What was Joe Kane?
Yeah.
When he go in the huddle, it's time to put the women and children to bed and go looking for effing dinner.
Right.
That's what it becomes. It's grown men.
Yeah. So I do think Travis Kelce will have a big game, and it's almost like when you have to guard against the one player well, how is Cooper Kupp open every single time?
Right.
You know, how is Travis Kelce open every single time? Like,
they know each other. You know, when Mahomes is on the run, Kelce knows, all right, I got to do this. He's going to throw it here. I mean, the play is never over with Patrick Mahomes. That's the key. Jared Goff, if he kept him in the pocket, you know that was it. He wasn't getting outside that pocket and making a good throw. Patrick Mahomes, he's live until he's dead.
Not to even cut you off, Matt, but that was the thing also we've been talking about. It's not just that he scrambles. It's not that he keeps the plays alive, Maz and Ryan. He always keeps them alive, and always there's a success waiting at the end of that play.
He's looking.
He never is just scrambling or waiting and looking and dancing and twirling, and then all of a sudden he takes a 15-yard loss or a sack or gets tackled out of bounds. He always finds someone open or finds a way to wiggle and gain 3 when he should have lost 8.
Yeah, no doubt about that, guys. So, hey, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Danan Hughes is going to join us from Las Vegas. We'll see if we can get that connection down. We had some trouble with it yesterday, but Danan Hughes, color analyst for the Kansas City Chiefs, will join us next. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. For over 60 years, the Barada family and Fairway Packing has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. All you got to do is visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks. If you can't make it in person, they ship next day. Order online. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Have you ever wondered where all the finest restaurants get their steaks? It's Fairway Packing Company, providing Michigan restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef for over 60 years. But now you can buy these cuts of meat for yourself at the Steak Shop by Fairway Packing Company. Prime porterhouse, A5 Japanese New York strip steak, dry-aged Wagyu beef tomahawk. Delicious. Get to the Steak Shop today. Enjoy fine wine, have a private party, and get the finest cuts of meat anywhere. The Steak Shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or order online, fairwaypacking.com.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
At Planet Fitness, you can get energy without the judgment.
Hi, can you help me with this?
You don't know how to use it?
This is better.
Join now through January 19th for just 24 cents down, $10 a month. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Join today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for 24 cents down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal extended through January 19th.
Over 50 Metro Detroit locations.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Hey guys, give your pet the best. Do not settle for less. Premier Pet Supply, Michigan's best pet store, hands down. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations. Over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available. Curbside delivery if you need it as well. Nutritionists available to answer all your questions. Give your pet the best. Do not settle for less. It is Premier Pet Supply. KNBC.com.
And come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for an award-winning haircut experience and register to win a trip of your dreams and all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Yes, sir.
Hey, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network, hour number 2 of the program. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway. We got Pete Spivak. We've got JB, the great Jeremy Bryant. And we've also got Danan Hughes. Danan is the color analyst for the Kansas City Chief, is in Las Vegas, and joins us live now. How you doing, Danan? Oh, sorry. I thought I had you. My bad. There we go. Now we got you. How you doing, Danan?
Doing all right. How you guys doing?
Oh, great phone line.
Great connection today. Absolutely.
Yes.
We're so happy when the technology works, Danan.
We're so easy to please, Danan.
Yeah, we're very easy to please.
Yes.
First and foremost, Danan, let me ask you about Las Vegas as a whole. I see a lot of tweets out there from people talking about how Las Vegas is pretty crowded right about now, and it's I use the word disaster.
Right.
It's not a disaster, but it's not an ideal place to host a Super Bowl. What do you make of that, first and foremost, being out there?
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. I think it is an ideal place. It's already crowded. It's just added. I'd say this. Being here since Monday, it seems like it's just another event here as opposed to the event in other places. It just seems like it's just another thing happening here in Vegas. But there's a lot of energy, a lot of Chiefs fans. Obviously, there are Niner fans coming from California, so it's going to be well attended. A lot of great parties as well. So it's cool across the board.
Hey, Danan, appreciate having you on the show. Glad we got it together today. I was going to ask you about one of your former teammates before we got into the Super Bowl. Big brother of mine, how was Andre Bad Moon Rising when you guys played for the Chiefs together? you see
Andre was cool, man. Yeah, Dre was cool. I played with him for 2 years in Kansas City, and he was top shelf teammate, really good dude, down to earth. I think a lot of times guys get bad reps.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, I played with Joe Montana, Marcus Allen, Derek Thomas, all bona fide superstars, and several others, just like Andre Rison. But I got nothing but respect for my brother Andre, man. He was a good dude.
Nah, he'll appreciate that. I definitely tell him when I talk to him today. And, man, you talk about some of those guys you name are all Hall of Famers. So, and Derek Thomas, man, we can talk about him for years. God rest his soul. And let's talk about the Super Bowl because everybody wants to know why the Kansas City Chiefs not favored. You talk about Patrick Mahomes, the experience that he has, Travis Kelce, and they've been the best team defensively right now, in my estimation, in the Super Bowl. Why are they not favored in this game going against the San Francisco team? It seems like they struggle a little bit, Dana.
Yeah, you know what? I understand it, and I don't mind it. I don't think the players mind it either. Being the underdogs, it just adds a little bit of an extra chip on your shoulder, I guess. A little disrespect. You can always play that card. You know how we are as players. We're always searching for disrespect. You're always searching for that extra angle so that you can get a little extra fired up for a big game like this. But when you look at how the season unfolded for the Niners, yeah, they've had some ups and downs. But, I mean, we lost 6 games during the season. Now, you can make the argument from a Chiefs perspective that we were 4 individual catches. Even though games don't come down to one play, technically they did for us in 4 of those 6 games, where if we just caught the ball as wide receivers, we would probably have ended the season at no worse than 15-2. And then we probably have a different narrative going into the Super Bowl. But it is what it is. I don't think the Chiefs are going to relish or lean into it too much. They're just going to go out there and try to handle business.
Yeah, when you look at that San Francisco 49ers offense, what is the thing that you guys think or the player that you guys got to go after most? I mean, obviously, Christian McCaffrey last night, he wins Offensive Player of the Year in the NFL. He had a tremendous season, 21 touchdowns in total. Who is the player that most bothers you on that San Francisco 49ers offense?
I think Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel are probably 1A and 1B in regards to that offense. I wouldn't sleep on George Kittle either. They have a host of talent on offense, as well as they got some really good dynamic players on defense. They're one of the more complete teams in the NFL. It's not eye-popping, but it is dangerous. And if you get those guys the ball in space, whether it's McCaffrey or Samuel, Like, they can make guys miss and take a ball from 80 yards to the house. We've seen that. So you can't allow those big plays to happen. I feel like the key to the game for the Chiefs is going to be forcing them to go 75, 80 yards and forcing them to do it in 14 plays or more. Like, if you're going to score, let us make it as hard as possible. Lean on maybe some of the inefficiencies or the inexperience of Brock Purdy to do that time and time again in this game.
Hey, Danan, it's Tom Mazaway, your Jersey buddy. Danan, for everyone that didn't know, he grew up in the same county as I did. He grew up in Bayonne, New Jersey. That's the south side of Hudson County. I'm on the north side of Hudson County in North Bergen, so we got a little something going there. We got to give that Jersey love out first thing, Danan.
Yeah, it's always the Jersey brothers. It's a Jersey brotherhood. Before you said Hudson County, I was about to say what exit.
That's right.
That's how we talk in Jersey, right?
Man. 16E.
Yep, I'm 14A. There you go.
There you go, man. You were a lot closer.
Yeah, that
to
was a big time rivalry. North Bergen was a big time rivalry back in the day. Had a lot of great times and some cool friends that I built relationships with over there too.
That's awesome, man. We're so happy for your success. You played for the Chiefs, wide receiver, just like Braylon, and now you're doing the radio gig. What's the difference with this Chief team than other Chiefs teams in the past? Their offense, Danan, isn't what it was. What's going on with this team?
Well, before I get to that question, I will say this. You got Braylon on as a Michigan guy. I'm a Hawkeye, so
I know you are.
This call could have went totally different direction, But I'm glad we stayed on target. We stayed.
Cool.
We stayed on track.
You know what we call it, Danan? We call Iowa. We call them Iowa. No O in Iowa.
Like their offense. Look,
no O, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you.
Hopefully, we can get that turned around.
I have nothing negative to say about Iowa, Danan, because when I was at Michigan, look, we beat Ohio. Only two teams we lost to in the Big Ten when I was there. We lost to Ohio State. We lost to Iowa. The only game that on that next Sunday, that Monday, that Tuesday, that you feel the longest, man, you play the Hawkeyes. You know you in a fight. Like, that's one thing.
Oh, yeah,
that's
man.
one thing about. I give a lot of respect to that black, that yellow, that black and gold, and that white. They can hit. They're very physical. A lot of love to Iowa Hawkeyes, man.
Yeah, they had some great matchup against Michigan back in the day too. I got much respect for the Wolverines as well.
Same.
Hey, Danan, I wanted to ask you about the Chiefs' defense because so many people will look at Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. That'll suck a lot of the oxygen of the conversation up with the Chiefs' offense. But what has turned around for this defense? Just a suffocating defense. I think they've only allowed more than 21 points. I think if my math is correct, only 3 times in the 20 games this season. Why have they been so good?
You know what's crazy about that is if I would have been on you guys' show in July or August, and I would have said, you know what, we're going to have a fully healthy Patrick Mahomes all entire season. We're going to have a fully healthy Travis Kelce the entire season. But guess what? The story of this Chiefs' success and getting to the Super Bowl is going to be the defense. You guys would have probably had me drug tested. Like that, that wouldn't have necessarily gone together, right? But this defense, as you mentioned, suffocating and consistent. When we've had the ups and downs, Braylon, I know you recognize all the drops that the receivers had 100%. On the offense and really not supporting Patrick Mahomes in the best way. The defense picked it up. You mentioned a stat about the 21 points or less. How about this stat? In the last 8 games, the Chiefs' defense has allowed an average of 4 points in the second half.
Oh, jeez.
4 points. So when you got Patrick Mahomes either leading or coming from behind, and you're trying to go punch for punch, trying to get the lead or keep the lead or extend the lead, you average 4 points in the second half with multiple games in there where teams didn't score a point in the second half. That's a testament to Steve Spagnuolo and this defense. Young talent, too. Trent McDuffie, who I think should be the defensive MVP on this team, he's in his second year.
Yeah.
George Karlaftis, tied for leading in sacks.
Purdue.
Second year in the league.
Yep.
It's amazing, amazing feat that they've been able to accomplish.
How about the other side of the ball, Danan? I didn't get a chance to finish my question, but that Jersey kid you got on that team, Isaiah Pacheco, he's the real deal, man.
Oh, yeah, South Jersey kid. He's
That's
South Jersey tough, Rutgers kid, and he runs with, like, the energy that he brings is amazing to me, and it's infectious. When you consider, the toughness, this hard-nosed kid, 7th-round pick, blue collar. You hear the story about his family and stuff, some of the hard times he went through growing up, and then to get to this pinnacle and be one of the linchpins of this team, just an amazing story. He's a great kid, dynamic, and, as an offensive lineman, you wouldn't help but want to block for him. As a receiver, you want to be able to get that key crackback block or stalk block downfield so you can open up the door for him, because that's the passion that he brings. So it's just a great compliment to this offense, another star in the making.
Yeah, he wears Tyreek Hill's number, too.
100%, and he wears it well. Yeah. He wears well in terms of dependability. Hey, here's a question for you, Dana. Just talking about after the Super Bowl. L'Jarius Sneed is one of the best defensive backs in this past season in NFL in terms of his ability to be a lockdown, shutdown cornerback. Lions need a DB. Are the Kansas City Chiefs going to bring L'Jarius Sneed back for sure, or will they maybe let him walk out that door? Because the Lions are looking.
Yeah, you know what? That's going to be one of the tougher decisions in the offseason. You got Chris Jones, L'Jarius Sneed, Drew Tranquil. You got several guys that are coming upon free agency, and you can't keep everybody.
Nope.
So it's just a matter of the decision that's going to be made. People wonder if this is going to be the last game Chris Jones plays. If it's L'Jarius Sneed, I think the choice is going to be his. But I will tell you, as a lockdown corner, he's going to have a whole lot of opportunities and options around the league because he's such a dynamic, physical corner. He can play in the slot. They haven't used him a lot in blitzes this year like they did in the past few years when he was blitzing and getting sacks and tackles in the backfield. They're kind of using Trent McDuffie for that now, and they're leaving him out on the island. But if he goes to another team, he can be that force in the middle of the field as well. So he's a strong physical corner that's going to garner a lot of attention.
Danan, we can't thank you enough for the time you've given us here, both yesterday when the technology wasn't on our side and then today. Really appreciate it. All the best on Sunday. And before we let you out of here, I do want to ask a big picture question. Patrick Mahomes, 3 Super Bowls, let's say they get the win. What does that mean for the all-time great conversation? Do you think you start having that now with 3? Does he need 3 in order to have that conversation?
So before I get to that, let me throw this in there. You had me talk nicely about Michigan and nicely about defensive backs. Like this is a unique conversation, man. Like it must be Christmas time or something. Well, those are 2 topics that I hardly ever speak nicely about, and you guys got me in that zone. So. It's
60 and sunny here in Detroit, Danan. So we're in one of those moods.
We're happy.
But I will say this about Patrick Mahomes and your question. To me, there's already the rumblings and conversation about him versus Tom Brady as the GOAT. I think it's justified. I love Tom Brady. It took me a long time. Obviously, he's a former Wolverine there, one of your brothers. But it took me a long time because I played with Joe Montana. So I was always Team Montana. But then to see what Tom Brady was able to accomplish, especially when he got away from Bill Belichick and to be able to go into Tampa and beat Patrick Mahomes. Some people will say, you know what? He's beaten Patrick Mahomes. He's ended the season, whether it was the AFC Championship in 2018 or the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 56. Like, the fact remains is that Tom has the upper hand, and there's nothing that Patrick can do head-to-head against him. But when you talk about 6 straight AFC Championships, hosting 5 of them, you're going to 4 Super Bowls in 5 years, and you don't look like you're missing a step. Like, I feel like the conversation is definitely going to be justified, especially if he wins this one.
Thanks so much for your time, Danan. Enjoy the game on Sunday, and all the best.
Thanks, Danan.
Appreciate you being on
the
show.
All right, folks.
You got
it.
No
problem. You have a good one.
Jersey strong.
That's right. All right, guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, awards night out in Vegas next. We'll hit them all. Who was robbed, if anybody?
Our guy.
We'll do that next. But first, a message from Swiss.
is in full swing. Actually, it's more like spring out there. What is this, Sprinter? There you go. So, well, Sprinter is the perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance and shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you too. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at SwissINS.com or call 248-800-4177.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new Down Home Comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The Down Home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of Down Home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Let me tell you about Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. I'm not an awards guy. Full disclosure, I do not care about awards. The Heisman Trophy...
Used to.
I don't really even care about that award anymore.
Right.
I like it when my guy is mentioned. If my guy could win the Heisman, that's great. I don't care about awards. Not an award guy. I'm a championship guy. I'm a team guy. But the awards were last night. A lot of other people do like them and want to talk about them. So, Tom Mazaway,
all right.
We'll send it over to you.
We'll start off with the MVP of the league. We all knew it was going to be Lamar Jackson. He took 49 of 50 votes. The only other vote went to Josh Allen. Bray, that's your guy. You called it.
It feels good to be right. I said at the beginning of the season that this was going to be my guy. I just thought finally they gave him everything he needed. They gave him all the weapons on offense. They bring in Odell Beckham, who he personally asked for. They draft Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews. They draft Isaiah Likely, who was a damn good tight end. And then the defense, everybody was healthy this year. So this had to be the year. And, he did it. It was kind of a lackluster year. I mean, because the candidates start falling by the wayside. Tua's a high candidate for a while. He falls in the big moments, in the big games. Josh Allen struggled early, came back a little bit late. It just really wasn't anybody. It was Brock Purdy, it was Lamar Jackson, and when they played against each other in December, Lamar Jackson won the MVP that night.
I'm sure he'd give it up in a minute to be in the Super Bowl.
Josh Allen of the Bills or Josh Allen of the Jaguars?
The Bills.
The Bills.
MVP is what we're talking about.
Somebody voted for Josh Allen for MVP of the league?
Yeah, one guy voted for him.
Somebody didn't want Lamar Jackson to get unanimous. That's all that was.
I hate that. That's like somebody didn't
Jeter.
vote for Derek Jeter.
They left him off the ballot completely.
Should have your vote revoked.
Just to beat
the Jeter guy. And we still don't know who that was, do we?
I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Very good.
This one bugged me.
Okay.
Kevin Stefanski did a really nice job with the Browns. He did. Fantastic. No Deshaun Watson. Putting people in and out of this. But Browns won 3 awards here. I'm going to go all through them. Kevin Stefanski won Coach of the Year by 1 vote. 1 first-place vote over D'Amico Ryans. And now, Pete, put up the next tweet that says how many votes were cast here, if you have that one. There it is. Look at Dan Campbell, how low down the totem pole he is. That bugs the living daylights at him.
Well, he finished third. Like,
I don't care, but look how far down he fell.
But he finished third.
It's the Lions.
I understand, but he finished, like, look what Kevin, like, we knew going into the season what the Lions could be. You saw how they finished the season last year, and they came in with the same energy, and they played well. You look at what Kevin Stefanski did. He played with 5 different quarterbacks this year. He had to go get Joe Flacco off the couch.
That's the first time since 1987 that a team started 5 different quarterbacks in 1 year and made the playoffs.
And made the playoffs. And then
I thought he did a great job.
It was crazy the job that he did. And to keep those guys in line and focused, like, look, they've been a media target in the NFL nationally since Odell first got there. That's 2018. So to keep that team in line, I thought was a tremendous job by him. And look what DeMeco Ryans did.
happy for him.
Ryan called that out. First year, defensive head coach. He gets Slog as offensive coordinator. C.J. Stroud, who you'll talk about. Like, it was a hell of a job by him. Dan Campbell, sometimes it sucks. Like, you just up the wrong year. Like, the year I wanted to be All-Pro 1, I was All-Pro 2.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, 16 freaking touchdown matches. Well, Randy Moss decides he wants to break the record and had 23.
Yeah.
Reggie Wayne decides he wants to have 1,600 yards and 120 catches. Hey, sometimes it just sucks. I'll take All-Pro 2.
I heard Ryan Clark say this, and I thought this was actually fairly brilliant. They don't say the winner is anymore at these award shows. They say... now the award goes to. Because there is no loser on this list.
Right.
You know what I mean? There is no winner.
That's true.
The award went to Kevin Stefanski.
By one vote.
It could have gone to DeMeco Ryans. I think those two coaches, for as much as we love Dan Campbell here in Detroit, for an incredible season that they had, when you talk about things that have happened for the first time in the league since 1987 when it comes to Kevin Stefanski, there's been no other team in the league that have, since 1987, that has started 5 different quarterbacks and made the postseason. And then you look at DeMeco Ryans. This team won 9 games in 3 years prior to his arrival.
Yeah, I know.
They won more than that this year.
The Lions won 2 playoff games for the first time in their history. They won 12 games, could have won 14.
And he could have won the award as well. And
3 votes he had compared to the 23 and 22 that the other guys had.
Nobody would have
batted an eye
if Dan Campbell walked away with that award.
The other side of it, Maz, and you're just going to have to deal with it because it's a good thing, though. The Detroit Lions are now considered one of the elite teams in the NFL.
Correct.
So when you're a coach on an elite team, Nick Sirianni won 14 games last year. He didn't win MVP. Like Kyle Shanahan, he's winning 12, 13 games a year. He didn't win. Matt LaFleur's.
I get it.
So when you're a good team like this, when you have the number 1 offense, the number 1 rushing offense, you led the team. You led the league in touchdowns with 64. Your quarterback finished in the top 5 in most statistical categories. Like your wide receiver is one of the elite All-Pro wide receivers. Now they take stuff like that into consideration and they dock it against you. Yeah.
Kevin Stefanski had some help because the next guy, the assistant coach of the year, is Jimmy Handshake. Jim Schwartz and that Browns defense. So Jimmy Handshake got assistant coach of the year. Ben Johnson not in the running here. That's another guy that got nipped out.
And he deserves it because that defense is the reason why that team was 11-6 and made the playoffs. You know that 100%. That offense they were so sporadic, so all over the place the whole season until Joe Flacco, who won comeback player of the year. But that defense, led by defensive player of the year, Myles Garrett, that defense was electric. They were all over the place. They were suffocating teams, and they played damn good. And Jim Schwartz is the reason why.
It just blew 2 more on my awards. My next award,
it's all Cleveland.
Comeback Player of the Year. It is Joe Flacco, Cleveland Browns, from the couch to the award show. Congratulations to Joe.
Man was raking leaves when he got the phone call and turned it on and got this team to the playoffs. He had some phenomenal games, a couple 340 games in there, a couple 4 touchdown passing games. Joe Flacco, man, he's hey. You know what I gained the respect? Super Bowl MVP, hell of a playoff run to get paid. Never was quite after that, never was quite before that. But Joe Flacco is a gamer, and I think this season, minus the playoffs, like it kind of lets you know why he's a Super Bowl MVP and why he has that mountain. You got to be good to win Super Bowl MVP. You can't just be a guy off the street.
And then Myles Garrett took home Defensive Player of the Year. What does this mean going into next season for Cleveland?
Well, yeah, it's very easy. they're expected to not only make the playoffs but win in the playoffs because they've got a quarterback now that they've proven they can get to the playoffs without you. They're good enough to get to the playoffs without you. So now you've got a quarterback you're guaranteed $250 million to. Your job is to take them to the next level. Your job is to, at bare minimum, get them to a conference championship game, I think.
I finally want to see a game. Look, the excitement when Deshaun Watson got to the Cleveland, the biggest excitement was what? This is about to be the class of the quarterback division. You got Deshaun Watson against Lamar Jackson. I haven't seen it happen yet.
No.
You got Deshaun Watson against Joey Cool down there. Haven't seen it happen yet. They've played, but those games have been awful. They've been atrocious. So I think that's what
both played injured.
That's what we as fans got excited for, and I think this year we need to see it. I want to see Lamar versus Deshaun. I want to see Joey Cool versus Deshaun.
One thing about the awards, I feel like you shouldn't get coach of the. And again, I don't care. I'm not getting worked up over awards, but I feel like you shouldn't get coach of the year. I'm talking about Jim Schwartz. If you have the defensive player of the year on your staff either. Like, you have the defensive player of the year, of course you're a good coach.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Lawrence Taylor, Bill Belichick.
Right. Like, yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm just saying, like, for coach of the year, I feel like you should have.
You're pushing it.
I know.
Yeah, you are.
Stay out of the award talk.
I don't care about that. Leave me out of the award
you're right.
talk. I don't care.
Christian
Who won
McCaffrey,
the championship?
Christian McCaffrey, offensive player of the year. That was pretty easy, I think.
Deservingly so. And one of my favorite comments about this, and trust me, I'm not the only one, is he's one of those reverse racism type situations. Like, he didn't get the love he deserved coming out of Stanford because he's a white running back. He didn't get the love he deserved in Carolina, even though he was offensive player of the year there. And now you're seeing it coming to fruition. I love the squad that he's on, but he's just that damn good too. I think we give Debo too much credit in saying how he sets the scene for them. Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, it kind of it takes away from how good Christian McCaffrey runs. Thought he was too small. He runs through tackles. Like, you know how hard it is to tackle Christian McCaffrey? Go ask the Detroit Lions about that in the third and fourth quarter. And he can outrun you. And he's always in shape. And he's always humble. He's always chill. 21 touchdowns is a lot of freaking touchdowns.
And he was hidden in Carolina.
100%. And now he's out in the forefront. So shouts out to him. And I don't think this will be the last. I don't think this will be the last time for him.
Last year, the Jets swept Rookie of the Year, offense and defense. This year, the Texans sweep. Offense and defense. C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson Jr.
I hope it works out better for the Texans.
Oh, my God. The Jets.
Ryan always says you got to have 2 picks inside the top 10. Well, this is what two picks inside the top 10 looks like.
Back to back.
Will Anderson, look, he didn't necessarily blow you away with the sacks, but it's the tackles. It's where he was at. He was in on almost every play, and he took over right away in terms of being callous on that defense. And C.J. Stroud had a year like nobody else has ever had. Look, I get it. There's been some great rookie years. I mean, you look at Andrew Luck, you look at Cam, you look at Dan Marino, but this Joker had 4,100 yards.
Amazing.
It's the efficiency, Ryan.
And he won a playoff game.
Won a playoff game, but it's the efficiency. And he made some plays in the second game against the Ravens. It's the efficiency. 23 touchdowns and 5 interceptions as a rookie.
Amazing.
As a rookie. And he was slinging the ball all season long.
Just think how different it would have been if Frank Reich got to get him in Carolina. Because Frank Reich wanted him
but he still didn't
in
have
Carolina.
Anybody.
He'd still have a job, and Carolina might be in the playoffs.
But who is C.J. Stroud throwing to with the Panthers quarterback? He still have the same skill positions that Bryce Young had, which was nobody.
Yeah.
It was nobody.
Maybe, maybe. Who knows?
Dude, Nico Collins is legit.
He is. He's exploded onto the scene.
He sat out that year. He was supposed to
sat out the COVID year.
He was supposed to, like, the next year he would have been like one of the premier wide receivers and maybe even like first round, top 15. But he sat out, and they hurt him a little bit.
And Walter Payton, Man of the Year, it's the last award given. It's the most honorable one. He'll wear that patch for the rest of his NFL career as Cam Hayward from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Not typically a Ohio State guy fan, but I am a fan of Cameron Hayward. I like the way he plays the game. I like how his father played the game. Craig Ironhead Hayward.
Ironhead, Jersey boy.
100%. I like the way his younger brother played at Michigan State, like Casey Hayward. I think he plays for the Steelers, but physical guy, man of the community, as you see with this. But he's ready to play every time he lines up.
All right, guys, more coming up next. We're going to go back out to Vegas coming up. We'll talk some ticket prices as well.
Joe,
what has gone on with the ticket prices in Vegas? We'll do that next and continue to go around the NFL. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. That's right. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years, you expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They offer the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. Located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And of course, if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella. All GM brands under one umbrella. GMC, Buick, Cadillac, and Chevy. Les Stanford Chevrolet.
Together, let's drive.
Let's drive, baby.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists, and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Have you ever wondered where all the finest restaurants get their steaks? It's Fairway Packing Company, providing Michigan restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef for over 60 years. But now you can buy these cuts of meat for yourself at the Steak Shop by Fairway Packing Company. Prime porterhouse, A5 Japanese New York strip steak, dry aged Wagyu beef tomahawk. Delicious. Get to the Steak Shop today. Enjoy fine wine, have a private party, and get the finest cuts of meat anywhere. The Steak Shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or order online, fairwaypacking.com.
Winning is a habit. So is listening daily to Woodward Sports. We're glad you're a winner, and thanks for listening.
Hey guys, it's Maz for Big Boy. Get on down to your local Big Boy right now. Start your day off with a great breakfast from Big Boy. The stuffed potato pancakes, the lumberjack and Santa Fe omelets are back. So are the apple pie hot cakes. And you got your lunch and dinner. You can have it anytime you want during the day. Veal Parmesan, Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, and of course the best desserts in town. They got the best pies and shakes, and they even have the gingerbread shake still there for a limited time only at your local Big Boy. And they'll even let you bring this game with you. Jack Labrador. Check them out. JackLabrador.gg.
Labrador.
JackLabrador.com. It's the Motor City Showdown. Spell my name and pink slip all included in this game. It's called the Champions Deck. Only $20 for Jack Labrador. Check them out online at JackLabrador.gg. A new way to play rock, paper, scissors, 2 new symbols, and a franchise-changing 3-point play. Get it right now, jacklabrador.gg.
Did I botch that?
No, you were great. Hey, let's bring him in. One of our favorite. This guy has quickly become one of our favorite guests here on the program.
Joel, baby.
Joel Schwartz
Joel.
from Big Time Worldwide. Mr. Las Vegas, Nevada.
He's got a sport coat on
potentially.
today.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the sport coat.
He's in
So I didn't
Vegas.
want to take off the coat for you. I just figured
It's a
I'd.
serious time now.
He's in Vegas.
Hey, Joel,
Yes, sir.
what's going on in Vegas? First of all, set the stage for me. What is the week like? What is the party scene like? What is the people like? What's going on out there in Vegas?
Well, I have to tell you, I'm a little bit removed from the party scene at this particular point in time. This is my 34th straight Super Bowl.
You're a lucky man.
That shirt says otherwise.
There's so much going on in town right now that it's sort of mind-boggling for the visitor, and a lot of the local events have suffered. So while you have all these Super Bowl parties and Super Bowl related activities, there's the NFL experience over at Mandalay Bay. There are several what they call super parties. I don't know. But there's other acts in town now that are suffering. Adele is in town. Sebastian Maniscalco. I hope I didn't mess his name up.
Maniscalco.
They're in town. Bruno Mars is in town. U2 at the Sphere is in town. And all these shows, there's really good deals on them. Really good deals because everyone's into the Super Bowl.
What about the deal on the Super Bowl? Yeah, bring me some numbers, Joel. Bring me some numbers.
I'm going to bring you a few different numbers. I did a bunch of numbers because I know you guys are numbers guys. First number I'm going to bring you is 325,000. That's the number of visitors that normally come to Las Vegas to party in the Super Bowl every year. They don't go to the game. They just come here to party. This year, they're anticipating about 400 or 425,000 visitors to Las Vegas. That's the extra 75 or 100 that normally come to the Super Bowl. So that gives you an idea of the size of the crowd compared to normal Super Bowls when we go into the city. You have an extra 100,000 people. Now we have an extra 400,000. Vegas adopts them well, but there's a lot of things going on, as you can see. That's the first number I'm going to give you. The second number you're going to ask me is how much? So I know that question's coming next. So I track the market on the tickets from the bottom of the market, from the cheapest seat all the way up to the top. The cheapest seat before the Lions played San Francisco, cheapest seat was $7,500. That Monday after they lost, the price went up to $9,000. And then it subsequently came down last week, $8,700. By Friday, we were at about $6,500 for the cheapest seat. Now, mind you, it's about $6,500 up to $25,000. On Monday morning, we climbed to $7,000. Yesterday, we got to $7,500, and today we're at about $7,400. So it's sort of settled in there at that particular bottom of the barrel ticket in terms of pricing. That's
Joe,
the lowdown last 2 weeks. Go ahead.
Joe, so basically the numbers have subsided. Is it equal to when the Lions were going to play in the game potentially, or have the numbers still in the Lions' favor? Because I have a question based on that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I think that I have to say that the dynamics of this game, there's no question the Lions would have raised the price, I think, in hindsight. They would have definitely brought more people to the game. These people are burnt out. San Francisco, Kansas City's been here
They're out of money.
times. San Francisco, right. It's just another day in the sunshine.
Yeah, they've already seen their games.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
so
that makes
the
sense.
Lions would have been a breath of fresh air, especially for me. But I can't cry over spilled milk. We got to move forward. But what was the second question from that first question?
The first question was going to be, is that the NFL and airlines taking advantage of Detroit in terms of knowing they're coming out here? It's the first time. They haven't ever been to a Super Bowl. So would it be taking advantage of that situation also because DTW is a big airport? It's a big hub, if you will. So is that like them kind of taking advantage of the city of Detroit or people traveling from Michigan?
Braylon, let me explain something to you. The NFL is not prejudicial. They take advantage of anybody that they can.
That's a fact.
Facts. Hey, facts. Facts.
Hey, Joel, listen to me,
Yes.
Joel. If I'm in Vegas on Sunday, you're going to tell me I can't get in this game for $1,000 or less by myself?
You You have no chance. Absolutely true.
Come on, man. I don't think you
have a better
know
chance.
Me. You don't know me very well.
You got to tell them a story how you got into the World Series.
I got into the 81 World Series for a $5 bill. All right, a $5 bill.
He greased the security guard's palm.
You're going to tell me I can't get in for let's say if I had a $500 in my hand, five $100 bills.
Now.
I'm going to walk up to one of these guys, and I'm going to, instead of a ticket, I'm going to hand him $500. And you're going to tell me I can't walk into this game?
Not going to work.
He's sticking with it,
can't
man.
believe
You're going to get in trouble, okay?
Yeah.
It's not
You
gonna
can get him in trouble, or her,
That's disgusting.
I believe the price. I believe the price is going to go up to $10,000.
Oh my God!
That's
for
my
one
prediction.
person.
For one person, that's my prediction.
Where are they
now,
sitting in heaven?
let me.
I don't care if I don't have a seat.
Well, you guys make me laugh. I mean, that's the market. That's what. Let me explain to you guys here. I wrote down some other notes, but I want to explain to you guys to maybe you can understand why the price is the price. How did they get to that price? What made it go to that price? And I'm going to suggest to you this. I told you before, it's my 34th game. This is the slowest Super Bowl that I've ever been involved with. No buyers. Absolutely
That's what I'm saying.
no retail buyers. No buyers. It's how are we having a price of $7,500 if there's nobody buying the tickets and they all say they're too expensive? How are we doing that? I'm going to tell you how we're doing it. It's called On Location. And I'll speak to On Location in a second. Let me bring some more numbers to the table for you guys that a lot of people don't know about the Super Bowl. Because people say, how do you get Super Bowl tickets? How does that work? So there's an allocation from the NFL for the Super Bowl. There's a breakdown. Every NFL team gets 1% of the tickets. So if you're dealing with a stadium that's 60,000 plus here at Allegiant, they each get 600. In past years, when the stadium was 75,000, they'd get 750. They get about 1%. From that 1% breakdown, every player in the league gets the option to buy 2 tickets. That's in the contract with the players' union. And then all the coaches and the front office people, they all get a chance to buy 2 tickets before they turn to whoever else they sell them to. And that's the team's business, but that's 30% of the venue, basically. Now, the 2 winning teams, San Francisco and Kansas City, they're going to get about 15% of the allocation, or about 10,000, give or take, tickets, and they distribute them to their people as they see fit. Now, what happens to that other 25 to 40% that are out there? In the old days, the league would keep 10%, and they would give 25% to sponsors and whoever. In recent years, they have something called On Location, which is owned.
Whenever I see what's on site.
60% by the NFL owners, 40% by the UFC, Endeavor Sports, and they basically sell their own tickets to the Super Bowl. And because it's owned by the owners, every NFL season ticket holder in the beginning of the year gets an email, and the email goes something like this. Hi, Ryan. Sorry your team didn't make it to the Super Bowl last year, but this is a new season, and because you're a Lions season ticket holder, we would like to give you the opportunity to be able to buy 2 Super Bowl tickets before they go on sale to the general public in New Orleans next year. All you have to do is pay $8,900, and we'll get you the Touchdown Club, the package with the goodies, the after party, whatever they put. It's garbage. It's all garbage. And they sell these packages around the NFL, and I'm going to suggest to you that they're selling them in the thousands or the tens of thousands. And all of these people, they have the best seats. I saw a guy the other day had row 1 upstairs. He paid $72,000 for 4 seats.
Wow.
So these people are stuck into their seats. They're not willing to realize that their seat might only be worth $8,000 or $9,000. They don't want to sell if they're going to lose money. And so the NFL has gotten rid of all these extra tickets at really high prices. And those are the extra tickets in the market that people are just not going to bail on. Because Maz is wanting to go out there and get a $500 ticket. It's not happening.
Listen,
It's not
Joe,
happening.
how about next
Yes.
year in New Orleans? What can we expect next year? What can a Lions fan, like you said, when I was a kid, I would send a postcard into the NFL in like June, and there was like a raffle that you had an opportunity, if they picked your card, that you could buy a Super Bowl ticket. Do they still do that?
I think maybe they might have a lottery for the $900 tickets. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't. I don't have the answer to that one.
Hey, Joel, are you getting any action on any of the shows out there, any of the residencies?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's slow. Nobody wants to go see Sebastian. We have Adele. We have.
You got Donnie and Marie.
You too at the Sphere.
Yeah,
No?
you two at the Sphere. There's another one. Bruno Mars is normally hot. We have him, and nobody's calling to go to the shows. I have a question for you guys.
Sure. Hasn't put an album out
Did
in
you guys
about
watch
5
the
years.
NFL part of the NFL honors last night?
Oh yeah.
Did they only let people from Cleveland and Houston vote?
I think so. They won 7 awards between them.
They're trying to throw Cleveland the bone.
I didn't get my ballot because it wouldn't have been for all those guys.
I was hoping to see you there, Joel.
You know, I wanted to go there. I wanted to go there, but again, I couldn't find any tickets for that one. That was tough.
And those two teams play each other in the playoffs.
Hey, Joe, Super Bowl aside, it's been a rough go of it locally here in Detroit when you're talking about tickets for sports. I mean, the Tigers have been miserable for a decade. The Pistons are non-existent. The Lions have been terrible, but this was a great year. And the Red Wings haven't made the playoffs in a number of years. How do you see the Detroit sports scene over the summer here? You've got a Red Wings playoff push, and you've got, I think the Tigers might be okay this year. Are you excited about them this year?
I think that Scott Harris knows what he's doing. I think it's so important to be able to put together the business side of the running the team and the talent acquisition side of the team. And, they combine, at least when they have salary caps, they combine. So, yes, I am impressive on the few players that he's looking to bring in that, a couple few players might make the difference for them. I can't say I'm excited until you show me something, but I don't think they're going to be doormats, and I think that the leadership speaks highly. Let me ask you guys a question. Speaking about Detroit sports, what are your guys' thoughts on that Pistons clearance sale yesterday?
I think they're the worst.
Nobody won.
I think they're a bottom 5 franchise in professional sports.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't believe that they gave away those players, that they first of all should have traded Bogey last year, but that they gave away all those players for kibbles and bits, and there's no plan going forward. And just because you have cap space doesn't mean you're going to be able to attract somebody to come to play for your team.
Fact.
And the number 2 or 3 or 4 player in the draft isn't going to solve your problems next year. No. So I don't see a future for them.
Joe, we talked to a former NBA player who moves around. Let's just say that. And he said the same thing. He said, there's no way in which you don't make these moves last year. You make them this year. That is a sign of a negligent GM. That's a sign of a negligent not being around owner as well. Like the Detroit Pistons, it's
a sin.
It's just to be this bad, to be this mismanaged, to be this poorly run. Ryan hit the nail on the head. That's top 5. You watch them from start to bottom. Everybody needs to go to get this thing moving in the right direction, including the guy that actually is pulling the triggers in Tom Gores.
Yeah, I think the degree that the owner can participate and understand how the team works and what they need to do to make it better play a big role. The Mark Cubans of the world, they take an interest in their team. But if you don't have an eye for talent, I mean, no disrespect to Mrs. Ford, but I think she's done a great job in handing the reins over to Brad Holmes, who is an excellent talent evaluator. And I think you see the results of that. I'm not so convinced that I think Troy is okay. Just if you don't win, then if you don't win and your players can't play for you and you don't have the chemistry, I think that's it, more or less the chemistry. then it poses problems that I don't know that go away so easily.
They got a nice nucleus of about 5 players, but it takes 12 to really put an NBA team together. Joel, on the NFL side, where are you sitting for the Super Bowl? Who are you going with? And give us your prediction, because we're all going to make our game picks.
Okay, I'm going to do that for you. I was on Kansas City's bandwagon the last time they won. Last year, I said, well, San Francisco was my team last year, and they ran out of quarterbacks.
Yep.
And Philadelphia beat them. And I said, well, Philadelphia was pretty good. I think we can go with them. Took Philadelphia, and I lost. This year, I'm going with Kansas City. I think that they will be able to slow down Christian McCaffrey's running. I think their defense is. We look what Green Bay and Detroit did to San Francisco. Yep. They really almost shouldn't be there, but they're there and they earn their keep. Okay, they earn their spot.
They played one good quarter each game.
Right, and Kansas City. I mean, I asked my friend, who would you rather have a quarterback, Mahomes or Brock Purdy? Mahomes. Who would you rather have? Who can throw the ball better? Or Mahomes. Who can scramble better? Mahomes.
Who's a better coach?
So they have who's got the better coach? Maybe Kansas City.
Yeah.
And I think here I'm going to put it to you in a different perspective of what really sealed the deal for me the other day. I was watching the NFL first night, and they were talking about Kansas City and San Francisco. And Kansas City, Andy Reid, it was raining, it was cold. Andy Reid took his boys outside on Tuesday or Wednesday in the rain, in the cold, full pads, made them work. Miserable. San Francisco's doing a walkthrough in the ballroom. You want the team that was out there fighting and scratching and clawing in the wind and the rain, they're going to be ready. The boys in the ballroom, I don't know.
The boys in the ballroom,
so I'm going Kansas City. I'm going to say Kansas City 27-24.
Let's not also forget the practice conditions. Kansas City Chiefs are practicing at everywhere the Raiders have is their facility, their practice facility, etc. Meanwhile, 49ers are UNLV.
All right, Joel, I'm writing this down. What'd you say, 27-24?
Yep.
Kansas City.
Where are you sitting, Joel?
I don't want to say.
You son of a gun.
Fair enough.
You won't take me for $500, me and you.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Hey, Joel, we're up against it, my friend. Thanks so much. We'd love to talk to you again
soon
here.
I love you guys. Be good.
Love you, man.
Love
Have
you
fun.
Guys. Hey, if you need tickets, bigtimeworldwide.com. Bigtimeworldwide.com. Maybe you're not going to the Super Bowl, maybe you want a Red Wings ticket, a concert ticket, call Joel. He'll get you set up.
We'll look for you on the sidelines.
We got some concerts coming up here in Detroit, man. Justin Timberlake and
I'll talk
Usher
to you guys
and
after the game, and we'll give you the wrap up, okay?
Would love to. We'll talk to you next week, Joel. Thanks, buddy.
Ryan and Braylon, who are you guys going for, real quick?
I got the Chiefs 23-17.
I changed mine. I'm going with the 49ers. I think it's their time to finally win another Super Bowl. It's been too long. They've been here too many times. It's the 49ers' time. Debo's healthy. I'm going 49ers 31, Kansas City Chiefs 20.
I got 24-20 Chiefs.
All right. Have
49ers,
a great weekend, guys.
You too, Joel.
All right, Joel.
Thanks, buddy.
Braylon, what was your score again?
49ers 31, Chiefs 20. Look, it's a team I grew up loving. It is what it is. It's time to be honest. I played for the 49ers as well. I'm going with the 49ers.
Chiefs 31-20. And Maz, you were what?
24-20, KC.
20. Okay, wait.
So I got the under.
C 24. 49ers 20.
Braylon's got the over. I got the under. And what do you have?
23-17.
So you got the way under.
Yeah. Yeah, so 2 overs, 2 unders. All of us, 3 of us have the Chiefs, if you're including Joel in here. So, yeah, curious to see what happens with this one, guys. Pretty interesting. Look, and there's the number, right? I mean, 49ers, depending upon where you shop, FanDuel,
Point and a half.
BetMGM, ESPN. It's between 1 and 2. It's between 1 and 2. I haven't seen it go up to 2.5 yet, because you go up to 2.5, you could buy that hook and get up to 3.
Yeah.
Right?
I like them even. I don't care about the number.
Yeah, well, then you're not paying any juice. You
Right.
can just go plus 110.
I'm taking
right?
them even.
Yeah. You guys get it in squares or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm about 250 in the hole. And let me tell you something. I don't have a shot in hell to win any of them. I got nothing but crap.
Did you see? So you're playing here as well?
Yeah.
So I gave. Oh, you're here too. I got 10 squares.
Oh God.
Yeah,
I got 4, baby.
I got a $100 square. I got a couple of 50s. I got a couple 25s, a bunch of 10s and 5s.
I don't even know where I'm at.
I don't have one good square. Not one.
Did you pick them?
No, you don't pick them.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. You know, you can go on FanDuel. My friend Mike told me, Mike Allway, you could go and pick your squares, and there's odds on each square, right? On FanDuel. I might put a couple bucks in there and go look at it. It intrigues me.
I think you could do that at Circa as well.
I bet you could.
You could do that at Circa with Derek Stevens.
I bet you could.
Yeah.
Do you do squares during games? Like we got a good, nice little square situation set up over at the crib. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited. Gotta have cash to play.
I gotta be honest. I'm still not excited for the game.
It's Friday.
I know, but no.
It's Friday.
I'm usually chomping at the bit.
Well, the Lions almost made the Super Bowl.
I think we're gonna go to a party this weekend, and I don't give a damn. How's that sound?
You will.
I always watch the game at home.
I guarantee you, Maz ends up in his car, like watching it on his phone, like listening on the radio.
I can't stand the people that are at these parties.
Got his Lions jacket on.
Oh, look at him. Oh, he should have did that. Oh, did you see that? Oh. The non-football fans at these parties absolutely kill me.
They're the worst. That's why Super Bowl parties is kind of like.
If it wasn't for the food, there's no way I'm going.
I just have to be quiet.
Amazing stuff. Anyway, Braylon, you've got a big event tonight. You with DMAC?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
The event's tomorrow at Soaring Eagle Casino, so it should be fun. Me and D-Mac, it's a trading card show, so we'll be out there
That's
showing
awesome,
some
man.
love. But tonight, man, it'll be Valentine's dinner.
I want to go see the Red Wings tomorrow, I think.
Got the shirt on.
I would love to as well.
You want to go? Double date?
Know what? I actually looked at tickets for the Red Wings game tomorrow, but I am moderating a town hall for the UFL.
Nice.
It's it's a pretty big deal.
Where at?
It's at the Macomb Performing Arts Center.
Nice.
Big time.
Some league executives in from the UFL and of course Mike Nolan, the head coach of
What kind
the
of food you got
Michigan
there?
Panthers.
You got any food?
Yeah, I mean there's a meet and greet, a Q&A town hall panel.
What time do I got to be there?
Is The Rock
you want to
gonna
come
be
to that?
Yeah.
Love you to come with me.
All right.
Doors open at 1:30.
You need me to come up there and
Absolutely.
do a USFL history or something?
Do you want
like
me to
that?
pick you up?
Sure.
I'll pick you up tomorrow. That'd be great.
Sounds like a
Maybe
winner.
I'll even buy you a Sahara lunch.
Ooh, I like that.
Why didn't I get invited?
Well, you're going to Soaring Eagle.
I'm keeping you quick on your toes. Quick on your toes.
Right,
You better have an answer.
All right, guys. Brad,
Do I gotta
get us
dress
outta
up?
Here. No, you wear that.
All right.
Yeah.
What else did you think he was going to wear?
Right. You wear that.
Hey, look, special shout out to the people in the chat. We know it's tough. It's tough. Lions are not in the playoffs anymore. It's tough to listen about football, especially with how they lost. But we appreciate you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you guys for rocking with us. And we appreciate when we see you around, man. You tell us, say, hey, look, we rock with you guys. We rock with Woodward Sports. We rock with Amon-Ra Edwards. We rock with the heavyweights, Big D Energy, man, and Morning Woodward. We appreciate you guys. This is why we do it. This is why we come, we have fun, and we rock and we roll. Appreciate you. This one's for you. Appreciate you tuning in, man. For JB, Peace Spyback, Tom Mazaway, my man Ryan Ermanni. We are Ermanni Edwards and
Thanks,
Maz.
everybody. Love you all.
Appreciate
Go
you.
Lions.
Enjoy the Super Bowl.